Welcome to Gospel Greetings number 94. Last week we discussed Jesus' promise in John 10:27. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. In John 10, Jesus gives us an extensive discourse about how he is the great shepherd and we are his sheep, sheep who know his voice and listen to him. We discussed the first and primary way to hear his voice through his word. We listed several benefits of listening to his word. The first being faith, the second being teaching or reproof, the third being equipping, and finally purity. And there's many more. This week, we continue looking at ways to hear God's voice. Our core text is from Psalm 46, verses 10 and then verse 1. He says, "Be still and know that I am God." And earlier it says, "God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in times of trouble." The psalmist quotes God as saying, "Be still." It's like God is saying, that's the only way you'll remember that I am God and you aren't. You see, he is our ever-present help in times of trouble. He's there to help, to guide, to lead. But I can't hear his voice going 100 miles an hour with my hair on fire. He knows us so well. To me, this is one of the hardest things to do in our connected world. Studies have shown that one of the major challenges that leaders deal with is frenetic busyness. Our schedules are full and stillness is lost on most of us. Our gizmos are buzzing and beeping all the time. The average person gets 96 buzzes a day. You guys probably get many times that number. Perhaps that's why God reminds us of our need to be still and know him. So the second way to hear God's voice is stillness and solitude. I got three ways we can do that. The first is to be still, and this is extremely vital. When we are still and intentionally try to hear God, this is when we become sensitive to hear him. There are less things competing for time and space in our mind. For me, this is often a time accompanied with prayer and usually where God reorients me and my thoughts about my circumstances. Most of us need a place to be still, like a special chair in the study or a room where there are no distractions. The second way is silence and solitude. It's interesting how refreshing a time of solitude and silence can be. In the marketplace, we're rarely by ourselves. Either we are surrounded by people or the constant buzz of technology. Think of this time as a quiet time. Plan out a daily break by setting a timer on your phone. Some of you do daily offices, a time of turning everything off, going to a quiet place at lunch, or reflecting on God or meditating on a scripture. The third way is a retreat. Now, a retreat is similar to silence and solitude, but just think of this as an extended period to experience refreshment and renewal by a very intentional time with God. You see, even Jesus, the Son of God himself, was led by the Spirit into the wilderness in Matthew 4, and then went out to a desolate place, Mark 1 and Luke 4, and went up on the mountain by himself to pray alone, Matthew 14. This has been very helpful for me. A while ago, I took a 3-day silent retreat. What I noticed was that it took me the first 2 days to really wind down and slept through most of the first day before beginning to hear God. You see, guys, getting silence and solitude is challenging, but we need it so much. Will you be still and know that he is God this week? Bless you, my brothers.